Legend tells of Sang Nila Utama, a prince from Palembang who sailed to the island of Temasek. While exploring the forest, he saw a powerful golden creature he thought was a lion, though lions never roamed this land. Taking it as a sign of fortune, he named the place Singapura, the Lion City. From this encounter, the story of Singapore's name was born a legend that continues to shape the nation's identity today. In Chinese records of the 14th century, Temasek is described as a thriving port along the busy trade routes of Asia. Ships from China, India, and the Malay archipelago stopped here to exchange spices, silk, and precious goods. Its location along the Strait of Malacca made it a vital crossroads for merchants and sailors. Long before modern Singapore rose, Temasek had already established itself as an important hub in the international trading network. The Kingdom of Singapura was founded around 1299 by Sang Nila Utama, also known as Sri Tri Buana. Strategically located along the Strait of Malacca, it flourished as a vibrant trading hub, linking merchants from China, India, and the Malay archipelago. Yet its glory was short-lived. In 1398, a major attack by the Majapahit Empire brought the kingdom to an end. Though brief, the Kingdom of Singapura left an enduring legacy as a foundation for the region's later identity and history. In the 14th century, the powerful Majapahit Empire set its sights on Temasek. Historical accounts describe a massive invasion, where Majapahit forces besieged the island and overwhelmed its defenses. This assault marked the end of the early Kingdom of Singapore, forcing its rulers and people to flee. While details remain debated, the invasion stands as a turning point, showing how regional powers shaped the fate of Temasek long before the rise of modern Singapore. In 1819, Sir Stamford Raffles arrived in Temasek and recognized the island's strategic position along the Malacca Strait. With the consent of the Sultan of Johor, he established a British trading post on its shores. This moment became a turning point in history, transforming Singapore into a bustling hub of global commerce. From this foundation, modern Singapore began to rise, a port city that would eventually grow into one of the world's leading economic centers. In 1824, the Anglo-Dutch Treaty reshaped the map of Southeast Asia. Through this agreement, the British formally took control of Singapore from the Sultan of Johor, securing its status as a crown colony. The treaty ended Dutch claims over the island, allowing Singapore to flourish under British administration. From that point on, the island became a vital outpost for trade and naval power, laying the groundwork for its rapid growth as one of the empire's most important colonial possessions. Situated along the vital Strait of Malacca, Singapore quickly grew into one of the busiest ports in the world during the 19th century. Its deep harbor and strategic position made it the perfect stop for ships traveling between the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. Traders from Europe, China, India, and the Malay archipelago converged here, turning the island into a melting pot of cultures and commerce. From these waters, Singapore's destiny as a global trading hub was firmly established. During World War II, Singapore faced one of its darkest chapters. In 1942, after a fierce battle, the island fell to Japanese forces and was renamed Syonan-to, meaning Light of the South. For over 3 years, its people endured hardship, fear, and oppression under military rule. Yet this period also stirred a stronger sense of resilience and identity among Singaporeans. When the war ended in 1945, the experience left a deep mark on the nation's path toward independence. In 1942, after Singapore fell to Japanese forces, the Chinese community faced a horrifying purge known as the Sook Ching Massacre. Thousands of men, suspected of anti-Japanese sentiments, were rounded up, interrogated, and executed. Beaches and remote sites across the island became silent graveyards. For survivors, it was a time of terror and deep loss. This tragedy remains one of the most painful memories in Singapore's wartime history, a reminder of the heavy price paid during the Japanese occupation. In 1945, after Japan's surrender in World War II, Singapore returned to British control. Yet the war had changed everything. Its people had endured occupation, hardship, and loss. Trust in colonial rule was shaken, and calls for self-determination began to grow louder. Though the Union Jack once again flew over the island, a new spirit had awakened among Singaporeans. The return of the British marked not just restoration, but the beginning of a path toward independence. In 1950, Singapore was shaken by the case of Maria Hertogh, a Dutch girl raised in a Muslim family. When the court ruled she be returned to her biological parents, many saw it as an injustice. What began as anger soon erupted into violent riots on the streets, leaving dozens dead and hundreds injured. The Maria Hertogh Riots exposed the fragile state of ethnic and religious relations in Singapore, marking one of the darkest chapters in its social history. During the 1950s and 1960s, the call for independence grew stronger in Singapore. Having endured the hardships of war and social unrest, the people began demanding the right to govern themselves. Political movements and popular pressure pushed Britain to grant self-government, marking a turning point in the island's destiny. This milestone was not just political reform, it was the first major step toward full sovereignty, laying the foundation for the birth of modern Singapore. In 1963, Singapore took a bold step by joining the Federation of Malaysia, alongside Sabah and Sarawak. The hope was that this union would bring economic strength and political stability to the region. Yet soon, differences in economic policies and rising ethnic tensions began to surface. Instead of unity, the relationship between Singapore and the federal government grew increasingly strained. This turbulent period set the stage for one of the most decisive moments in Singapore's journey toward full independence. On August 9, 1965, Singapore was expelled from Malaysia and declared itself an independent nation. The separation shocked many, as the merger had once been seen as the island's future. Yet political disagreements and ethnic tensions made the split inevitable. Under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore, small, resource-poor, and uncertain of survival, faced the daunting task of building a nation from scratch. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of Singapore's remarkable journey toward becoming a modern and resilient state.